You're watching the Community MMA.
What up, what up? This your boy Chris Cross checking in. This is the TCMMA podcast, aka the Community MMA. And we got a studio audience today. You hear the dogs in the background? No big deal. That's just today's studio audience. So I'm letting it be known now. Probably going to hear them throughout the show. Just stick with us. It's all good. We got a lot of clips to play anyway, so drown that out. A lot going on, man. The producers are saying, Chris Cross, you got to work on audience engagement. So we'll engage the audience a little bit today in the Q&A. Big controversy over why I wear sunglasses. I mean, it's crazy. I'm like, so instead of MMA, you want me to talk about the sunglasses, Mr. Producer? And he said, yeah, you need to engage the audience. So we'll get into the controversy over why I wear sunglasses. It's crazy. I mean, you got Khamzat Chimaev getting ready to fight. You got some big fights last night, including a 33-second KO by your boy Bobby Green. We're getting into that in just a few minutes. That was crazy. You got these UFC officials all over the Octagon. It's driving me crazy. We're going to get into that as well. But you got all these things going on. The producers are saying you need to engage the audience. Well, Mr. Producer, aka producers, but Mr. Producer, I hate to tell you, but we got to talk MMA first. I mean, it's just, we'll engage the audience, I promise. I know I've been pressured on this, but we got to get into the fights first. Khamzat Chimaev coming up. It's the main topic right now. Khamzat Chimaev, what's he going to do? And it's crazy because in the whole comment section, you got like 300 UFC fighters, maybe less, maybe more, something like that, right? The one guy that you guys comment on the most, and then my favorite fighter, Khamzat Chimaev, fights on October 21st. And then I started looking, I said, well, last year, because one of the kids played in a Little League playoff game, I was like, I think it was on a Saturday. And I'm like, oh no. So I look it up. And nonetheless, it's October 21st. I mean, I'm going to be in a playoff game when the most famous fighter in the world, easy, is going to be fighting. So I may miss the Khamzat Chimaev fight. It's wild. But you know what? I wouldn't have it any other way. Because our team's going to be in the playoffs. And we got to get a victory over whoever we play to get to the semis. So Khamzat will have to come second, maybe. Unless the game's at 7 o'clock at night and we can get it in and get on the road. We'll see. Because the fight started at 2 o'clock. Khamzat's going to be fighting at like 4. Oliveira Makhachev at about 4:30 or 5. And we're going to have a playoff game during that time. So it is what it is, man. Listen, I'm going to be at the playoff game. Make no mistake about it. I'm trying to get this W. Our team's been working. It's been exciting. So you have all that going on. I just want to make you aware of that. So you might get the reaction video late because I'm turning the phone off. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm going to come home and watch the fight and react to it, not knowing who won. So I want to make sure it's authentic. You understand? It's got to be authentic. So you got the studio audience in the background. The dogs are grappling. You got to love it. Woo! It's getting fired up over here. And it's freezing outside today. It is freezing. Mr. Producer, what's going on with Krayzie Bone of Bone Thugs of Harmony? What's going on with him? I know we got the bone on today. We got the bone on today. Bone Thugs of Harmony, right? Favorite group of all time, no question. Not even Outkast number 2, close number 2, right? But Bone Thugs number 1. And I know Krayzie Bone. Y'all got it. Krayzie Bone was in a coma, they say, fighting for his life. And now I think he's on the mend. So you got Bone Thugs of Harmony's Krayzie Bone says he fought for life for 9 straight days during hospitalization. Rapper Krayzie Bone comes out of coma after fighting for his life for 9 days straight. Okay, so he's on the mend, is what it sounds like. Okay, because listen, and if you don't follow Bone Thugs and Harmony, I'm going back to the early 90s, Tupac days, Biggie days, Eazy-E, Ice Cube, all the, NWA, the early days of hip-hop, true hip-hop. Bone Thugs and Harmony is still going strong. And I know nowadays you got people just listen to the music for the beats and for the sound, and sometimes I listen to the words And I'm like, what are they talking about? Bone Thugs wasn't like that. Bone Thugs was about the words, the beats. They can harmonize, they can rap fast. They were trendsetters. Krayzie Bone and Busy Bone are probably two of my favorites, although I love all five equally, right? But Krayzie Bone and Busy, if I had to pick two, those are my guys. And Krayzie Bone, probably just a tie for first. So if he would have went down, if he would have passed, I would have been hurt, man. I would have been hurt, like more than any other artist or celebrity that I know. If Krayzie Bone would have passed, oh my God. Because I want to see him at least, I know it sounds crazy, because he's 50, but I want to see him one or two more times before that point. I mean, it's just the words and what they say in the music, I couldn't agree with more of any artist. They keep it real. There's no, they're not hypocrites at all. And I just love that group, man. If he would have passed, it would have hurt. So thankfully, he pulled through. A lot of prayers coming from people. It's great. I know we're sliding off MMA for a second, but just had to keep it real because we got the shirt on today. So in case you noticed, of course the jacket's covering it up, but it is what it is. But listen, let's move on. Let's get into some of the reactions from last night. You have Bobby Green and Grant Dawson. Now Grant Dawson is number 10 in the lightweight division. And Bobby Green's taking him on his biggest opportunity against a ranked opponent. Highest ranked fighter, I believe, last night. And Bobby Green got the job done over number 10, Grant Dawson. Here we go, Grant Dawson, Bobby Green, main event. And Bobby Green fought Islam Makhachev, the current champion, and got beat in like a minute and a half, 2 minutes. But this is still the biggest opportunity for Green because Grant Dawson is number 10 in the lightweight division, best division in the UFC. And Grant Dawson already throwing bombs early, lands a right. And Green, always looking comfortable in the octagon, with his hands down, looks very relaxed as he continues to come forward with that lead leg. And Dawson lands a right leg kick, takes a left. Oh, Dawson's down. Let's go, Green. Oh, what? Bobby Green KOs Grant Dawson. Holy cow. And Bobby Green jumps on top of the octagon, and he's fired up. He is fired up. And here's these UFC officials again, always trying to calm the fighters down. They got too many of them, man. Let Bobby Green celebrate a little bit. That's a big victory. Likely 10, 11, 12 now in the lightweight division. And Bobby Green is coming. And that's, 33 seconds. Forget about it. And look at these guys trying to calm him down. And I'm telling you, there's going to be a problem one day with these fighters and the officials. Because they bring in 10 officials, and these guys all need something to do. And they're trying to pull them down off the fence and telling them to calm down. Yeah, so all these officials, it's like at a nightclub when you have 10 bouncers and it's like a small nightclub. Like, well, all these guys need something to do. There's going to be some activity, regardless if there's any activity at all. And one of these, something's going to happen one day. Might not be for a little while, but one of these guys are going to get smacked. Because in his next fight with Joe Pyfer, and Bobby Green's KO last night was ridiculous in 33 seconds. It goes without saying. But then Joe Pyfer gets the win over Al Hassan, and then you have a UFC official literally screaming at Joe Pyfer, which he's so excited he don't care. But try that with a Conor McGregor or one of these guys that are raged up after the fight. It's not going to go well. I'm just telling you. But they get away with it with Joe Pyfer. Big win last night over Al Hassan. Joe Pyfer takes a kick to the leg. And he lands a left-right combo. Now he's continually moving forward. Al Hassan a little shorter so Pyfer can punch downward. And Pyfer switching back and forth between righty and lefty. Oh, nice left uppercut with a big right. And a jab. Oh, he gets under Al Hassan. Big slam. Woo! And look at this. Piper's looking for the triangle. And Al Hassan's caught on this thing, man. Al Hassan is caught. Oh, man. He's not even fighting it either. He's trying to fight the knee, but he's in trouble here. And Al Hassan grabbing on the left arm, which is caught inside, and he's punching at the ribs. And boy, I don't know if that was a tap. That could have been a tap. I don't know. And Al Hassan is finished. And Pyfer is pumped, man. It looked like there was a tap right before he went out, but instead, the ref stops it afterwards. And Joe Pyfer's high-fiving everybody, man. Screaming at the camera, he's pumped. So big co-main event win for Joe Pyfer. And, we went with Joe Pyfer in the prediction against one of my favorites, Abdul Razak Al Hassam. But at the end of the day, we got to stay true to the predictions. We told you beforehand. We see the big slam. Gosh. And Al Hassan got taken down and then right to the triangle, and Al Hassan never had a chance from his back. So submission victory, Joe Pyfer. Yeah, so we didn't get into it, but after Pyfer's walking out of the octagon, right? And you already got like three, four officials in there saying, calm down, calm down. You just got, it's like if you score a touchdown and you got 10 NFL officials come out and say, calm down, calm down. It's like, man, get out of there, man. That's why they call it the No Fun League for a while. They had to bring that stuff back. That's happening in the UFC right now. And he's walking out of the octagon down the stairs, and he stops and he's high-fiving people and he's waving to the crowd and stuff. And then this official looks at him and says, get down, Joe. That way, Joe. Like with him. And I'm like, dude, one of these fighters are going to smack you up, man. One of these fighters are going to smack you up. I'm telling you, try that with Khamzat. Or if Oliveira beats Makhachev, try that with him. Okay. Not likely, but listen, you understand what I'm saying. Then you have Morono versus Joaquin Buckley last night. Great fight. Check this out.
Now, Ricky Glenn grabs a glove with Drew Dober,
Ricky
and
Glenn,
the ref says fight on. So Dober's not happy about it. Glenn on his back. He's saying, come on, Dober, but Dober backs off, lets him up. And now Ricky Glenn, ooh, nice knee by Ricky Glenn. Oh, but he takes a big left. And Dober's coming forward. Standing lefty. Nice body shot with the left. And Ricky Glenn in a little bit of trouble now. Dober looking good. Oh, another big left. Ricky Glenn's in serious trouble. Takes another big left. He's on his back. The ref taking a hard look at this, and he takes 2, 3 more. Boy, and Tyone usually jumps in and now he does. It's over. Man, Drew Dober, in dominating fashion, goes down to his knees and just chills after getting the KO. Yeah, and it was Drew Dober, not Joaquin Buckley. Joaquin Buckley got the win by decision. No point in showing you that. But Drew Dober gets a big finish over Ricky Glenn. And good night this past week. Not great, but good. With the predictions. Good is not bad. We'll take it. As we pull up the results last night. So we were 6-4. Okay, we'll take it. De La Rosa lost. Kaneko Murata won, but she lost. Hernandez definitely lost, and Grant Dawson lost, and Bobby Green made me pay because I should have picked Bobby Green, but I was trying to stay true to the predictions. But Pyfer won, Buckley won, Dober won, Kowalkiewicz won, Nate Maness, and that should be Aori Kalang. So we're 24-10 in the main event, not bad. 267 and 148 overall, we'll take that. And it's been a solid year on the predictions, and regardless what happens these next 3 months. We got a 19 win cushion over the wins and losses. So we'll be well over 100 by the end of the year, and we'll take that every year. That's the key number. 100 more wins than losses. And we're there. So, we march on now. We got UFC Vegas 81 this week before they go to the UAE. Or Abu Dhabi, I mean. All the big, the boys are back in town, as we said last podcast. The boys are back in town. But first, we got some big fights this weekend. Speaking of big fights, you got Jonathan Martinez versus Adrian Yanez. Let's get into that prediction in fight 3 this week, or maybe fight 4. In the bantamweight division at UFC Fight Night, you got Jonathan Martinez taking on Adrian Yanez. This is American versus American. Martinez 18-4, Yanez 16-4. So 2 high-level bantamweight fighters. Make no mistake about it. Martinez, 1 inch taller at 5'8". They're both 29 years old. They both got a 70-inch reach. Martinez fights left-handed, where Yanez fights right-handed. So let's get into the meat of it now. In terms of significant strikes and activity, significant strikes per minute, Yanez leads there, 6.8 significant strikes per minute to 4.6 for Martinez. And Martinez can land a takedown, but just one like every 6 rounds. So on paper, Yanez is the better striker, or at least more active. Now, Martinez has won 5 in a row, so don't count him out just yet. Beating Said Nurmagomedov, decision. Cub Swanson, KO. And then he had 3 straight decisions against guys like Alejandro Perez and Vince Morales. So bottom line is he's got some momentum. Now Adrian Yanez, 100% takedown defense. That's incredible for as many fights as he had. About 7 or 8 so far. He did lose to Rob Font his last fight by KO. That's a tough fight. Before that, he beat Davey Grant. He beat Tony Kelly. He beat Randy Costa. And a lot of his wins, 4 of the last 5 wins, are by KO with 1 split decision. So this is a very tough prediction, and that's why this fight is even money. But I like Adrian Yanez to get the job done. I mean, he doesn't have the same momentum as Martinez, but he did get in there against Rob Font, and he did get KO, but that fight should help him in this setting. So I think Adrian Yanez, with the activity, with the takedown defense, is going to find a way to win this fight. But again, Jonathan Martinez is no joke. It's not going to be easy. But I still believe Adrian Yanez is a slightly better fighter than Jonathan Martinez. He'll get the win standing on significant strikes by decision here. Bantamweight division, UFC, fight night. Yeah, so Adrian Yanez will take him. And this is a tough one. This week's going to be tough. I could just tell already it's going to be a tough week. Hopefully, in the trenches here, last week 6-4, just got to have a winning record right now. Just keep the wins piling up. Doesn't have to be 9-2. 6-4, 6-5 is fine. As the studio audience gets riled up in the background for UFC Vegas 81. Yeah, the dogs are fired up. Everybody's fired up. We'll take Adrian Yanez. Now, in the co-main event, Jennifer Maia versus Vivian Araujo. This is going to be a big one, ladies and gentlemen. In the women's flyweight division at UFC Fight Night, you got Jennifer Maia coming in at 21-9, taking on Vivian Araujo, who comes in at 11-5. This is Brazil on Brazil. We see this all the time, right? Both fighters stand 5'4", same height. Maia is 34. Araujo is 36 years old. Reach advantage goes to Araujo, 68-64. So she's got a 4-inch reach advantage. They both stand right-handed. In terms of activity, darn near even. They're both right around 4.5 or 4.5 significant strikes per minute. But it's Vivian who lands takedowns from time to time, more than 1 every other round. So in this fight, if she can get 2, that will be above her average and would really help solidify a victory. Now Maia, 57% takedown defense, coming off wins against Casey O'Neill by decision and Marina Moros by decision. She did lose to Manon Fiorot and Caitlin Chukagian, both by decision. So that's a little bit above her pay grade, if you will. She had a chance to get those victories. She couldn't. They throw her 2 fights she should win. She wins both of them. So, she keeps... We're trying to find out where Jennifer Maia is. Now, Araujo, 82% takedown defense, which only solidify the fact that she's not giving up any takedowns in this fight. And she's going to want to shoot for some takedowns. Lost to Amanda Ribas and Alexa Grasso, both by decision. But she did fight well. Like against Alexa Grasso, she lost 153-126 in significant strikes, but did have 2 takedowns to none. So this is a fighter in Vivian Araujo that's on the rise. This is a fight she's got to win against Jennifer Maia, who's got a lot of experience. And even though Jennifer Maia is the favorite, and man, this is going to be a good fight, I got to go with Vivian Araujo. Right? I got to see what she can do on the feet against Maia. I got to believe she's going to get 2 takedowns and win 2 rounds. That's what I got to believe, But even though Maia's the favorite, I'm going with Vivian Araujo to win this fight. In my opinion here, women's flyweight division, UFC Fight Night. Yeah, let's go Vivi. We need to win from Vivi this week. It's going to be a tough one. Very good fight between Maia and Araujo. Make no mistake about it. And then in the main event, just gets better. Making it tough this week. Sodiq Yusuff versus Barbosa, Edson Barbosa. This is going to be a great fight. Check this out. In the featherweight division at UFC Fight Night, you got Sodiq Yusuff coming in at 13-2, taking on Edson Barbosa, who comes in at 23-11. Now Barbosa's 2 inches taller at 5'11", but he's 37 years old. Yusuff just 30. Barbosa has a 4-inch reach advantage, 75-71. They both fight right-handed. Yusuff 5.3 significant strikes per minute to 4 for Barbosa. So Yusuff is landing more significant strikes per minute. He's more active on his feet. Neither guy really likes to land takedowns. I mean, very low takedown numbers. So this fight favors Yusuf on the feet just because he lands more significant strikes. Yusuf 70% takedown defense, that shouldn't matter. He's won every fight except against Arnold Allen, who's a pretty good fighter, to say the least. Since that loss, he's beat Alex Caceres, who was on a roll at the time, and Don Shainis by submission. So he's looking well in the UFC. Now, Barbosa at one time was a bad dude. I thought this guy, realistically could have won the title, but he struggled, losing to Giga Chikadze by KO, Bryce Mitchell by decision. Although he fought well in that fight, he gave up 4 takedowns, and Bryce Mitchell just used control time. He did beat Billy Q, though, by KO. So he's 2-2 in the last 4. And Barbosa's a tough out. I mean, this guy can beat anybody on any given day. Let's just be realistic about it. But Yusuf, to me, is too good. This is a fight that he has to win. And it seems like you keep getting these fights where guys that I like, I have to go against them in the predictions. And that's just the way it is. Yusuf is a slight favorite here. I expect him to win. Not sure it's going to be a KO. It's probably going to be a decision fight. This might favor Barbosa that it's on the feet, so we might get a high output of numbers here, finally, from Barbosa in terms of activity, but Yusuf's going to outpace him to move to 14-2, in my opinion, featherweight division, UFC, fight night. Yeah, so another tough prediction there. You know, you got a guy you like versus a guy that's really good, and you got to make a decision. We lost on Bobby Green last week. Hopefully we don't lose on this one. But that's the way the prediction stands. And we'll have to wait and see what happens, right? Don't want to lose back-to-back main events, so the pressure is on this week, no doubt. Now it's that point. The producers want me to get into fan engagement, audience engagement. So let's get into it. Here you go, Mr. Producer. In today's Q&A, let's get to the topics. Let's get to it. Reem Raw, my man, is back. Colby has literally beat no one under the age of 37 and has done nothing that makes me believe he can beat Islam. But I don't think that fight's happening anyway. Yeah, probably not. But it's fun to talk about because it is a possibility. I mean, if you get Islam win and Colby win, that fight's going to happen. But Colby's got to beat Leon, and Islam's got to beat Oliveira. So neither one of those are guaranteed to happen, especially both. Miami Explorer. Let's go, Miami. What's up? Hometown, baby. Home team. If Khamzat gets the title, he can fight as frequently as he wants. He can fight once a month. Doubtful. Go listen to Joe Rogan and Ngannou podcast. The UFC slows these guys down sometimes, especially when you're getting into contracts. EP. Since Khamzat now a UAE citizen, I hope he can compete in next Olympic wrestling or BJJ tournament or something so that we could see him more active. I don't think anybody wants to fight him if he mopped the floor with Costa, or probably only those Dagestani fighters willing to fight him after that. Yeah, I mean, they're going to say, you know, Costa's washed up when he finishes him and all this, but at the end of the day, I mean, got to go in there and beat him. They're going to downplay the win, trust me. Can I ask why you wear sunglasses? Okay, so here's the big controversy, and everyone's weighing in on this. Let's see what they say first. Can I ask, why do you wear sunglasses? Why do you care? Question mark. Wasn't asking you. Pasha Boyer replies. Bro was in prediction mode. With how well he picks its fights, he's setting the mood, more or less. Yeah, okay, I like it. Because he's outside. That's the easy answer. You are a clown. Some feel comfortable with shades on doing live feeds. You know, so the reality is I'm outside. And sometimes when you're doing predictions, your eyes are looking at the computer, looking at the stats and stuff, so it helps with that. But the real answer is just simply, I'm outside. There's no controversy here. And this is what the producers want, right? Well, there you go, Mr. Producer. Audience engagement. I'm outside, therefore I wear sunglasses. Sun's out. You dig? At Dimebagonomics. No, the question is, Khamzat can survive Bo. Talking about Bo Nickel. I know, right? Well, we're gonna see. We're gonna see. Now, let's just see what happens with Costa. You're obviously not an MMA dude. He only fought one good fighter in Burns and didn't destroy Usman. Whitaker, there are guys I think would beat him. Okay. Okay. At Faz. You saw him get smoked in the jaw by Burns' fight. Yeah, because he had to get down and wait. But okay, fine. Okay, fine. That's going to be a distant memory soon enough. Costa will gas out eventually with all the grappling he will have to deal with, and mentally making Costa mad, making him fight with rage, plays into Khamzat's hands and game plan. Yeah, and that's why you see Khamzat already going at Costa with the war of words, right? Because he's going to have Costa in there in a rage, and that plays into your hands, right? We won a Little League game yesterday. It was a JV game, right? So you got JV and varsity. And the JV team beat this team where we might play in the playoffs. And the coach is screaming, wait till the playoffs, wait till the playoffs. Okay, we want y'all in a rage. Khamzat wants Costa in a rage because then you're not doing your normal stuff, right? In football, you can jump a team offside. You can do different things when they're fired up because they're not thinking clearly. They're emotional. And that's what Khamzat wants with Paulo Costa. He wants him to be emotional in this fight so that he comes out swinging. And then Khamzat can get an easy takedown, or he can just KO him. You know, so we'll have to wait and see. I think Khamzat can do what he wants, and at 185, it's not going to be like the Burns fight. People are going to realize real quick what it is. And that's that Khamzat is dominant, absolutely dominant. Especially at 185 pounds when he's walking in the octagon at 200. I mean, he stood next to Jack Hermanson, and he made Jack Hermanson look like just look small, okay? Khamzat is huge at 185. Don't get it twisted. But that's all we got to say. Listen, a little audience engagement today, trying to keep the producers happy. Krayzie Bone is on the mend, and Khamzat is coming. That's the gist of today's message. And Bobby Green, 33 seconds last night, forget about it. But for now, this is your boy Chris Cross. Hope you have a great day and God bless. Peace.